Now, we also experience rashes. Rashes, something like poison ivy, which is the body reacting to a pollen in a plant. They can give you this rash, and what the rash is just a nervous reaction. Your nerves send too much blood to the area, it starts to puff up, it starts to itch. So we're going to handle that with a very simple recipe. And I myself am prone to poison ivy. I get it every year, whether I'm really near it or not. And this recipe has helped me throughout the years considerably. I used to do the pills that the doctors would give me, and there's nothing wrong with those, but I just didn't feel like that was what I wanted to do with my life. So I found this simple recipe to work on that calms the body, calms the rashes, gets rid of the inflammation and the itching all at the same time. All right. So for a simple rash, one that's just starting, as a matter of fact, you want to catch it as soon as you start to feel the itch happening. You want to start trying to work on these nerves to calm it down, because if it starts manifesting into the bumps already, then you're too far into it. It's a little trouble. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on a pressure point in the leg called spleen number 6. Spleen number 6 is right behind the shin bone, about one hand up from the ankle bone itself. You want to massage this down 30 to 60 times, or again, sitting for a long period of time. If you have the time, you want to start calming this down. Just watch TV, you can listen to music, you can read a book, and just stroke these points as you go through your activity. Okay, 30 to 60 times on this leg, you do it on the opposite side as well. Now we're going to add more points, but what I want you to make sure that you do is, if you're working on an ankle point here, make sure you do the other ankle point before you go on to other points in the body. All right, so we've worked on the both spleen 6s, okay, an equal amount of time on both sides, so you're in a balanced state. You don't want to work on one for 30 times and one on 15 times. You want to keep that balance. The next point we're going to work on is one hand underneath the V of the knee. It's called stomach 36. It's again in between the shin bone and the calf muscle. And what I need to do is I need to stroke this down toward the foot, again 30 to 60 times minimum, or if you're sitting on the couch watching TV, you can stroke it down for a lot longer than that. You would again go to the opposite side and work that just as long as you did the others. But again, don't start with this and then jump down to the ankle. Work with the ankle point first, then work with the shin point. At the end of all that, we're going to go way up to the hand. Right in between the thumb and the index finger on the web of the hand is a very powerful point that we'll touch base with on a lot of other recipes as well. It's called large intestine number 4. What we're going to do with this is we're going to stroke that nerve right against the bone and down toward the index finger. You want to do this again the same amount of times that you did the ankles and the shins. And we work that, and after a while, all the way down to the finger. Okay, and you can just pull right off the fingertip, and that recipe will calm the nerves, it will calm the itching, and it will also help relieve the rash. And if the rash is raised, like we were saying with the poison ivy, then that recipe will calm that down. And it doesn't take long before the skin starts to dissipate on the bumps. You can handle it in like about an hour. We've had with some children that just came in with starting with the itching. Children heal much faster than adults. So they work a lot faster, but with the adults it's a very quick remedy as well. All right, now we also have more manifestations that can happen, say like the hives. If you've ingested some food, sometimes it doesn't agree with you, and you not only break out into a rash, but it gets a little worse and it gets into a situation where you develop the hives. We'd use the same recipe that we used on before with the rashes, but we're going to add some points. Okay, first of all, we worked with the spleen number 6 in the ankle, rubbing down 30 to 60 times at a minimum, and a suggested longer period of time to work on that. You worked on the one ankle, you work on the opposite ankle. Then we worked on a point called stomach 36 in the shin. We stroked that down again 30 to 60 times minimum. Again, longer is better, especially with a rash. You want to really get a calming effect on the nervous system. And that's basically all we're doing here, is we're manipulating the nerves to calm the body. All right, when you shake the nerves and it's in not a hard or an abrupt or acute manner, then it tends to not cure the body, but calm the body. Okay, so you, again, nice and easy on these points, just rubbing down on the shin. Okay, stomach 36, both sides. Then we worked up to the large intestine number 4, where we again massaging that nerve down toward the index finger, and we pulled right to the tip of the finger on the last few of them. 30 to 60 times minimum, longer is better. Now when you have hives, what we want to do is we want to add another point. It's in the forearm, right where the elbow bends. All right, right on the top of that muscle. You're again going to want to stroke that nerve to calm the muscle, calm the nerve itself. We're rubbing down toward the hand. Again, minimum 30, 60 times. Opposite side as well. So you go through the whole recipe that we had for the rashes. You just add the large intestine number 11 at the end, and that will help. Now also for itchy skin, a lot of people in the wintertime, they get dry skin because of the temperature and the humidity. So to release some of that itchy skin, we can add another point. Now the rest of the recipe was just like we used before for the rashes or the hives. We go through the whole recipe for the hives, and I'll just recap it here, and then we just add the last point. Again, we worked on the spleen 6 on both sides of the body. We worked on the stomach 36 on both sides of the body. We worked on large intestine number 4, stroking right down to the index finger and off, and that was for the rashes like poison ivy or just a rash. For the hives, we added the spleen or the large intestine number 11 on the forearm, and again moving it down toward the hand. Now for itchy skin, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the skin has got a little bit more fluid with it. When you get itchy skin, it's because your skin dries out. So to add a little bit more liquid retention in the body and a little bit more regulation of the liquids in the body, we use a point called spleen number 9. And what we do is we just gently massage that into a circle. So that will add a little bit more to the recipe. Now the recipe could be this for the rashes as well. You could use the entire recipe for rashes or the hives or poison ivy or itchy skin. So it wouldn't hurt you to use more points. It would actually benefit you a lot more.